I got the email saying, congratulations, that you won the contract. It was $18,000. It was a small contract. But honestly, yeah.
Crazy. That's $18,000. I mean, there are people in this country who don't even make $18,000 a year.
And then people like yourself started giving information on YouTube, and it really, really opened my mind to a lot of things, and I didn't realize how easy it was.
So all my amazing GovCon winners, I have Bo here with Vertical Horizon Construction Group, and he's going to talk about a recent win. So Bo, welcome to the channel.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Where are you? Where are you in the world?
I'm just outside of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I was there recently for Beyonce, but nobody cares about me and Beyonce. But they do care about you.
Everybody cares about Beyonce and you.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. So talk to us, Bo. How did you get into government contracting, and what do you offer the government?
So first of all, what I offer the government, I do construction. My father was a general contractor, and I became a general contractor in 2011. And so I was always, since I was a little boy, used to working around the house. My dad getting me out of bed on Saturday mornings and go and work on people's houses and things like that. And he had some rental houses that he invested in, and working on those, getting those built from the ground up. So I was always real familiar with construction. So yeah, that's how I got started in construction. And as far as government contracting is something that I always wanted to get into since 2004, I believe. Yeah, it's been a really long time. I have some relatives actually that had multi-million-dollar contracts within the government doing disaster recovery. So I was always familiar with government contracting, but until recently, I took it like seriously. I was always working a job, and I have 4 kids, by the way, so I always had to work. I always, I had to do what I had to do. So it was like a constant hustle. I was always doing these side hustles and everything, and the low-hanging fruit, as in work from my regular customers, were always coming. So I just had to do what I had to do, So until recently, more and more information became available about government contracting, because it was this big stigma around it for the longest, that it was something that was real hard to get into, and you had to know somebody. And so I kind of felt the same way. Even though I had relatives in it, they still were connected. They had a lot of money and a lot of political connections. So I always figured, that was the route that I would have to take to get there. So I never really pursued it. And then people like yourself started giving information on YouTube, and it really, really opened my mind to a lot of things. And I didn't realize how easy it was. Honestly, I didn't. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
So when did you, Bo, realize okay, this is definitely easier? And then what did you bid on?
So when I realized it was easy, so I had been registered in SAMS probably, oh my God, it's almost embarrassing to say, probably 10 plus years. And yeah, absolutely. And because, you get motivated, you get fired up for something. And then, after you stop hearing what you listen to or who you're talking to, then that fire kind of fizzles out. And so I got fired up again. And I said, man, you know what? I'm registered in SAMS. Let me see what's out there. So I remember you saying September would be the end of the fiscal year, the end of September. And so I said, well, it's like the end of July right now. And I said, well, let me just see what's going on. So I saw a contract for, actually how it went, I saw a contract for doors and windows. And I was like, doors and windows, that's tiny. Like, I shouldn't have too much competition there. So I went out for it. So there was a site visit. I made the site visit. Nobody was there. So I was like, man, what's going on? So I ended up calling the contracting officer, and he was like, sir, I'm sorry, we canceled that job. And I was like, what? You canceled the job? So he said, yeah. He said, the reason we canceled it, we found some mold. I said, okay, who's handling that for you? So he says, does your company do that type of work? I said, absolutely. So he said, okay, give me your information. So I gave him my information, left that day. About 2 weeks later, a week and a half maybe, it was posted again, but this time as a mold remediation cleaning job. And so there was another site visit. I went to that site visit. This time there was a ton of people there. Probably 30 or so people. So I was like, oh my, there's gonna be a lot of people. So it just so happens, a high school friend of mine, she has a mold remediation company. And so I told her to meet me out there. So we met out there at the site. She walked around. She said she's confident in her numbers. So I said, okay, cool. So I did meet a few people out there that I know in the construction world. And it was a little intimidating at first because you see all this competition. And I've been to pre-bids before, but this is my first government pre-bid. So I was like, oh man, this is gonna be, all over again. So much competition, you're not gonna want to, bid on it. So I said, no, at least I will follow through with it. And so I prepared my bid packet, filled out my, 1446, is that it, the form?
There's the different SF forms, different.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I fill that form out and scope of work. I just give a little highlight of my company, what we do, scope of work, and who it was in conjunction with. Matter of fact, I just pretty much took what your cover page was that you went over a few weeks ago. I just went over that. I modified a little bit, put a little bit of my resume in there, and I sent that over. And maybe a week and a half later, there was another pre-bid for, this time another small one for like garage doors. And I said, this is a real small one. I said, I'm gonna check this one out too. So I made that site visit. So the same contracting officer was there. So he said, hey man, he said, I just saw you last week. And I said, yeah. So he said, look, I can't tell you who won. He said, but it's getting real close for us to letting the awardee know who won. So I was like, all right, cool. So the next day, I was like, man, I don't think I won, but at least I got the bid out. So I got the letters, the email saying, congratulations, that you won the contract. It was $18,000. It was a small contract, but honestly, I just, yeah.
Amazing. That's $18,000. I mean, there are people in this country who don't even make $18,000 a year.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to get through the process, and so after I got through the process, that's when I knew it was possible. That's what helped build my confidence, to keep pushing. And so we got that award letter. I got another award letter a few days later for the garage doors. So that one was only $3,200. And as far as my pricing goes, I didn't try to, I don't look at the government as this big money bag. I know they have, unprecedented money, but I just look at them as another customer because I know the bigger jobs will come later on. So for now, I just treat them as a regular customer. I just a 15 to 25%, maybe 30% markup. And I stick with that just to try to make sure I win the bid. I just want to focus on performing the job and building the trust of that contracting officer. So, and that's what I know. I know with any job you go into, curating that relationship is really important. And so I just want them to be able to trust me and know that I'm going to do a good job, and they can refer me to other people, So, yeah.
And I love this because the fact that you were a solution.
Absolutely.
To that initial site visit, and then he's like, oh, we have mold. Can you guys do it? And you weren't like, mold? I don't do mold. I only do doors or something crazy. You were like, of course. And so then you stood out, and then you went to the site visit despite the competition. Because the best part is, even when there's a competition, it doesn't mean they always bid.
Right. That's true. That's so true. And I'll tell you what, I did know that just from the regular public sector. It's like I said, it can be intimidating at first, but exactly what you said, those people don't always bid. Sometimes that job may be too small for them. Their margins may be too large, what they're expecting. You never know what happens. So I encourage everybody to just bid, even if it looks a little intimidating initially,
Yeah, I mean, you'll be amazed. I mean, we've been on things. We won something recently where only 2 of us bid. There was something we lost, and it was the incumbent and us. I mean, it's just, and it just is amazing. So it's like bid. So what's next for you as far as what you're looking to bid on or pursue in government contracting?
So I've written up a couple write-ups for Sole Source, and I was actually contacted by one of the guys. He's out in Maryland. That one was out of state. It was for landscape and lawn care in Texas and Louisiana. So he called me like a few days later and said, hey, look, I really liked your write-up. And also, by the way, I used ChatGPT to do that also. So that was really, really helpful. It comes in handy. And he called me and said, hey, look, we're going to be putting that solicitation out over the next month or so. He said, be on the lookout for it. He said, I'll send you an email. So that'll be something to bid on. But also, I got a referral from the 2 jobs that I did on. They were with Homeland Security, the Coast Guard, by the way. I got a referral from a prime contractor in the southeastern southeastern United States. Multi-million-dollar contract holder. They've done, I think, over $2 billion in government contracting over the past 10 years. So one of their representatives reached out to me. and she said that she was referred to me by one of the contracting officers. He said that I did really good work for them. And so long story short, she basically told me everything she needed me to write up for her. And I wrote up AC repair, swap out, put a new AC system on top of a roof, a package unit, 10 tons, and that was $45,000. So yeah, so I'm just trotting along here, you know.
No, but this is terrific. It's terrific that you're doing that, because this, and you brought up something that many watching and listening may not realize. Contracting officers will refer us out because that company is considered a large company. So large companies typically have subcontracting goals, and or the agency wants to make sure they're really subcontract, right? They're not just writing the goals and not doing anything. So they referred Bo, because he's amazing, to a multi-billion-dollar company where normally you would never be able to get in contact with them. And they immediately contacted him, explained what they wanted, and now he is up for an opportunity because of his performance.
Yes, absolutely. That was my whole intent going into this thing. Again, I didn't really look at the money part of it, because everybody gets their day as far as money, as far as opportunities go. You know, we all get an opportunity to make more money, but you have to be able to perform. You know, same as you always say with set-asides. You know, that's just icing on the cake. You just want to make sure you're giving a good product and that your customer is satisfied with your work. Yeah.
And so where do you find these people to provide these services? Where do you find doors? Because I know that there are people who are watching and listening and they're thinking, okay, I have a background in construction, you know, but how do you know the people are good? I mean, walk us through this, because I have no idea about construction. So
I have my in-house guys that I use for certain things like that. Oh, another thing I'll tell you, kids, I work a regular job also. I'm a W-2 employee. It just so happens I work shift work. So I work 6 months out of the year, basically. And I'm off 6 months out of the year for the most part. You know, so I'm saying that to say there's no excuses. Anyone can do this, you know. So, but where I find a good contract. So, you know, you can look on Google and things like that, but you'll be paying a premium when you do that because they'll likely be in the same business as you are. The best way to find guys is ride around new up and coming subdivisions, look at the work they're doing, walk through their houses that they're working on, and you can vet the people that way. Relationships, I mean, is huge. I go to a lot of the PTAC events, go to a lot of SBA events. You're always networking with people, exchanging cards. You may show up to one of those guys' job sites, and they may have some guys that are doing a craft that you need. You know, it may be ceramic tile, it might be roofing, you know, it could be framing, you know, it could be plumbing or electric, you know. So that's another good way. And these guys are always, I don't want to say always, but most of the time, if they're good people, they're willing to share, you know, the people that they use, you know, the subcontractors they use. So yeah, and Facebook Marketplace, you can find some people. If you look on Facebook Marketplace, I would just say make sure they have some type of insurance. Yeah, just make sure they have insurance, because sometimes you get those one and done guys, they just in it for the quick lick, and you know, so you don't want that. So yeah, just make sure you kind of do your homework, ask for referrals. Have them take you to some job sites that they worked on, some of their old bosses, things like that. But the biggest one I would say, like I said, drive around, and when you see new construction going on, you see guys working, stop and take a look at their work. And hey, give them your phone number, give them your card, and exchange information. And that's my favorite way to find people.
I love that. These are gems. These are gems, because on top of it, even if someone right now is thinking, but okay, well, that's great, but what if I bid on something in Iowa or Utah? Well, here's the deal. The people that you meet, maybe they're willing to travel. Maybe they have contacts in Iowa and Utah. So never assume that just because you locate them in a certain area, that's all they know. Like,
absolutely.
People are open to traveling. I mean, I've seen electric companies from all over the state in Florida or even here in Michigan and stuff. So
yeah. Absolutely.
I love this because, man, I can only imagine. I'm so intrigued by construction. It's definitely not an area like ever plan on going into, but I'm so intrigued by it. What about, because you talked about the insurance, and that comes up a lot. People are like, oh, I don't have any insurance, or what about bonding? You know, talk to us about.
I have insurance. I have general liability and workman's comp. But for the jobs that I did with the government, I didn't need any of that. the two I did, and even the AC job, I didn't need that for that one that's up and coming. But I will say this: I bid on two other jobs. I didn't get those bids, but I'll share with you guys. One was out of state. That was the first one out of state. It was actually in Omaha, Nebraska. It was for landscaping, something I'm not too familiar with, but know a little bit about. And the guy gave me the price, and his price was the actual cost of doing the work. And so by the time I put my percent on top, I was outpriced that way. So I didn't get that one. And another one I bid on was here in Louisiana. It was changing out a generator with another electrical friend of mine. He gave me a really good price, but somebody lowballed that job. I don't even see how they can do it for that price, but they lowballed the job, and they ended up getting that one, But for that job, I didn't need bonding. So I would say Google a surety company. Just look for a surety company. Usually, you can get bonded for up to $50,000, up to $100,000. Sorry. Usually, you can get bonded for up to $100,000 if you have a moderate credit score, like 650 and up. Usually you can get bonded for like 100 up to 100,000. When it gets up to like $250,000 and above, then they kind of want to look at your books a little bit harder. They kind of want to see what's going in the account, see what you made for the year. So 250 and up, that's kind of what you're looking for. Then if you can't get bond for that much, you may have to partner with somebody who can. So yeah, there's always ways around it. Just like I said, look for somebody who's been there and done that as far as what you're doing, and see what their bonding capacity is, and maybe they can, like I said, partner up with you on that, and you guys can get past that too. So don't let that hinder you, is what I'm saying.
Okay, no, that's really good to know. That's really, really good to know. And what about the company, the prime, the big company you're partnering with? Did they have any requirements for insurance? Because sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, on that one, it wasn't a requirement for insurance. The only thing, I had to sign an agreement stating that if I broke anything, I would put it back in the condition, a new condition. That was it. So no, I didn't have to have any insurance, which was really weird for me. I was like, what? Like you working on a unit like this? But hey, it's all good. And actually, it didn't. I have a contractor's license in the state of Louisiana, but none of these jobs require me to use my license. They just, all it says in the description of the work is you should have working knowledge of the equipment that you're working on. So don't let that be a hindrance to you either. I'm a general contractor, but I haven't had to use that as of yet. So yeah, the sky's the limit, really.
Wow, I love that. That's another beautiful gem, because some may assume, oh, it's construction, I have insurance, I have bonding, I have to have a GC. And it's like none of that, even partnering with this billion-dollar company. So I think it's great. Just breaks all these myths. It's just like you have to put into action. I mean, take a look at what happened, Bo. You as soon as you're like, oh, okay, it's like a couple months from September, bam, like all these things have happened.
Yes.
Like that. And like just a handful of months.
Absolutely. It was real shocking for me, actually. It was such a relief just to bid on the job. It's such a relief just to bid on it. It was like, because the first day I bid on it was like, I bid on the job. So that euphoria kind of stays with you for like 2 or 3 days. And then it was like, I wonder if I won the job, like you weren't thinking about that at first. You just wanted to bid. Then it's like, I wonder if I won that job, And so it's a whole gambit of emotions that you go through, with in the beginning, So I'm still learning. I'm watching all your videos and still.
Well, that's amazing. And so what is next? Like, what kind of opportunities are you looking to bid on? Are you looking to go after any set-asides?
So I'm a disabled vet. So I was looking at some roofing jobs with the VA. They do a lot of roofing, I see, throughout the country. So I've been looking at those type of set-asides. But I do want, because I've been really, I'm like being a contractor, like a one and done thing. But I do want to focus on some of those like longer term contracts. I do want to, even if it's like, routine maintenance or things like that, I would like to focus on something like that where I just provide personnel and products and, and fulfill these obligations that the government has as far as maintenance goes. So that's what I really want to do. I would like to win one of those recurring contracts,
You definitely will. And, don't hesitate to target the VA.
Absolutely.
Like leverage the SDVOSB, target the VA. because the VA also, I'm not as familiar just because I'm not a veteran, but they have a variety of contract vehicles. I know for the construction realm, staffing, medical, and typically in order to get on it, you have to be SDVOSB.
Right. Yeah, I look at a lot of the opportunities, them and also the Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a lot of Corps of Engineers. I noticed has a few more stipulations than than the other guys. But hey, we'll get there.
Yeah, you will in due time. I mean, because that's the thing is you don't have to have, it's not about like, you have to come out the gate being like Jacobs. I mean, like you don't have to be this massive $1 billion construction firm. It's about you sell to the government what you're capable of selling.
Right.
There's an initiative to work with us at the level of 25% of contracts being set aside for small businesses. Like, this is one of the very few places where the marketplace is like, we want small businesses. We want people who've never had a contract with us. Like take full advantage. Look at what's happened. So yeah, I'm super excited. So Bo, I know people, they're going to want to talk to you. So how do they get in contact with you?
Oh, let me see. You can get in contact with me at eddiebodapro@gmail.com. EDDIE Bo BODAPRO @gmail.com. That's me.
Yeah, please reach out. Have a question, reach out. You can tell Bo's and especially because this will come up often, like questions on construction, questions on bonding, and it's like, listen, I get it. I'm in services, training, staffing. Like I can't talk to you other than I know a little bit about HVAC, but this is the man. Like he's walking you through it. Like this is real world what has happened in a couple of months, like winning contracts.
Yeah. And actually, I found it easier to navigate through the government through SAM than I did like our local municipalities. I found it easier. I was like, man, I couldn't believe it, honestly, But maybe I'll try that route one day, but I'm trying this GovCon thing for now,
Yeah, keep up the GovCon because there's always, especially around this, like the area that you're in, like there's never going to be a time where they're like, nope, we don't need, like, that's what's so cool, because some things it's like, emotional intelligence training, okay, but with your area, there's always a need and so many opportunities in this space. Yeah. So is there, although, this is your area, is there any other type of opportunities that you're like, maybe one day, you'll start bidding on like medical supplies or I don't know, is there anything like that?
I was looking at medical supplies one day because honestly, I'm one of those people. I kind of have to. I'm not the most organized person in the world.
That's all right, me neither.
And it's so I kind of stick with what I know, and that's construction for now. I definitely want to be more diverse in this business, and I want to be just a general service provider for the government. I do want to get to that point. I just want to make sure I'm able to give a good service before I step out on something I'm unfamiliar with. So but yeah, absolutely, I would love to get into something like medical supplies. I watched the interview you had with the gentleman from Alabama, I believe. I would love to get into a field like that. Absolutely.
Yes, with Jerry. Yeah, I mean, I just bring it up because the beauty of government contracting, if you want to pivot, you can, but you don't have to. And I just had that feeling. I was like, oh, he's trying to get into something else, potentially.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Construction is, it can be kind of meticulous at times. You kind of have to be there sometimes, or I have to send somebody there. And so it's kind of one of those things you can get burnt out on, so I would like to do something that's more, I can ship you a product or, you can just check for quality assurance and, I can just replace it if needed. That would be a lot more easier. I wouldn't say construction is the easiest field to start off in, but that's across the board. That's not with GovCon. That's just in general.
Right.
So yeah. Absolutely.
No, I appreciate that. And I appreciate your honesty with it because there's always, benefits and some challenges or cons to every single space. I'm sure there's things Jeff Bezos is worried about at Amazon. I mean, it's not, everything isn't roses. So
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, Bo, for being here today. And I know everyone is so appreciative. So please, everyone, reach out to Bo. Please do so. Yes, please do reach out to Bo. And I just want to say again, thank you everybody for watching. Hit the notification button, hit like, hit share. I'll have the link to the Facebook group below. You all are amazing, all my amazing GovCon winners, and everything is possible. Till next time.